my god, I totally forgot. Okay, I have to do that. I gotta make sure I pick up that thing, and then I gotta make sure I call her back tonight. I told her I was in the car, I told her about that. Dang, I totally forgot that I was supposed to put. Alright, I'm gonna do that. Then I'm gonna do that thing.
Is this you? Do you struggle with overwhelm and just feeling like you have way too many things to do on your to-do list and not enough time? If so, then stay tuned for this next Indigo Ray TV episode. Hello, Mosaic Souls. Hey Mosaic Souls, this is Rachael Alexander, artist and Mosaic Soul mentor, aka spiritual teacher with flair. And today I'm super excited to talk about how to ditch overwhelm and create space in your life for you to thrive, in your life and business for you to thrive. And this is super exciting topic and juicy topic for me to cover, because I used to be like that chick in the beginning of this video who just had way too many things to do and not enough time. And if this is you, then you're definitely going to want to stick around to watch the rest of this video, because you know how I do. I like to talk about the metaphysical underpinnings of how things work. I like to talk about universal principles, divine laws, and I like to talk about things from a spiritually awakened perspective versus just normal human mundane way of looking at things. So let's get into the 5 steps to ditch overwhelm, okay? So the first step is to recognize that overwhelm is a creation of the mind. So as you know, everything is a creation of the mind, because we the ones creating our own reality, right? So if you the one creating your own reality, then yes, you have to accept the fact that you are indeed, my friend, creating overwhelm as well. So understand that overwhelm is a state of mind. It is nothing more than just you creating this feeling, this mindset of too much to do, not enough time, right? That's the mindset. And it's okay. You can totally create something new, which we're going to get into in the next few steps. But just first recognize that this is a mindset. It's a state of mind that you have created to, that you have subscribed to, and you can unsubscribe at any moment in time. Okay, second step, now that you have awareness that it's a state of mind and it's not actually, you know, you don't actually have too much to do and not enough time. Actually, you can create whatever reality you want to create because you're a divine being. Okay, now that you know that, step number 2 is to embrace overwhelm and to remember who you are. So when you embrace that you are indeed the soul that is experiencing both overwhelm, and there's also another version of you, that this version of you that you envision who doesn't experience overwhelm, who experiences more calm, peaceful confidence flowing through life, right? You start to see that it is a choice of focus, okay? If you see me looking down, I'm looking at my computer because that's where I write all my notes. So it's a choice of focus, right? So when you are aware that you are this divine, infinite, multi-dimensional being, playing the character of the little human that you're having right now, you have your little human experience, you doing the human thing, we all doing the human thing. You recognize that you see that overwhelm is a choice. It's a shift in perception. It's a shift of focus. And so what you give your attention to, right, you know this, it expands into your reality. So understanding that you first want to come at overwhelm with embracing it. You don't want to push it away saying, oh my God, I'm so burnt out. Oh my God, I hate this. Why am I always overwhelmed? Why do I always have, that would be the more complicated way of approaching it. I'm not going to say wrong, because every life experience is valid, but that's a more complicated way, or yeah, a more complicated way of experiencing. And I invite you to experience a more simplified version of it, where you just embrace, okay, I'm experiencing overwhelm. I'm going to love the fact that I'm experiencing overwhelm right now. I'm going to love the fact that I feel a little bit burnt out. I'm going to love the fact that I think that I have way too much to do and not enough time. I'm gonna embrace that. You know why I'm gonna embrace that? Because I'm remembering who I am. I'm remembering that if I can see that I am the person who's having overwhelm, that I can also see that there's another version of me that isn't experiencing overwhelm, and she or he is all right. She's good. So if I embrace the overwhelm, I can easily shift into a different version of me. But notice how you can't really shift into a different version of you if you're pushing away overwhelm. You have to embrace and accept that overwhelm is the game that you're playing right now. And once you accept it and you fully love the overwhelm, because that's part of the juiciness of the experience you came to play on the playground called human life on planet Earth, then you can shift to the more calm, confident version of you. You know what I mean? So there is the funny thing is, we think that the way in which we can create our reality is by shoving out the stuff that we don't want, which I'm going to get to in step number 4. But it's not really about shoving, it's about embracing and loving it so that you can release it, okay? And so let's go into step number 3. Remember, there is nothing that you cannot do, be, or have. You simply let go of what no longer serves you or is in resonance with your current desires, right? Because you are the creator of your own reality, because you create through your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, your expectations, and your focus, you know that you can create whatever you desire in your life. And understanding and remembering how powerful you are, if you want to do the whole overwhelm track and it's exciting and invigorating and thrilling, do you, boo? That's good. But if you're done with that life experience and you want more ease, you want more flow, you want more confidence, you want more inner knowing of who you truly are, then you can simply shift by recognizing that I can let go of the overwhelm. Now that I've embraced it, I think I'm complete with that experience. I'm complete with overwhelm. I'm complete with working my butt off. I'm complete with feeling like I got too much to do. I'm complete with feeling burnt out. I'm done with that experience. I'm now going to embrace the path of ease, acceptance, love, full self-expression, creative expression, flow, abundance. I can embrace whatever I want. It's all the law of polarity. The only reason why I'm experiencing burnout and overwhelm is because that's what I'm focusing on right now. I'm focusing on I got way too much to do and there's not enough time. So what does the universe do? It responds back in kind to me and sends me more stuff to do because that's what I'm focused on, right? So that is how the universe is responding to you. Remember, we live in a mirror universe. It's always reflecting back to you what you're pulsing out, right? So that's understanding. That's step number 3, is that remember, there's nothing that you cannot do, be, or have. And you simply shift by letting go of what no longer resonates and allowing in what does resonate. So that's step number 3. Step number 4 is to know that you don't have to effort your way to your desired outcome. And this is so crucial because a lot of times we think that we have to do so much in order to create what we desire. We think we have to climb up a mountain in order to achieve the goal. And there is validity to that, especially if that's where your belief system lies. If you believe that you have to work hard in order to achieve what you desire, the universe is just going to reflect that back to you. It's going to say, oh, she believes she has to work hard. Send her more work. Boom. We're going to send her more work. She wants to work hard to get what she desires. Okay, I'm just going to reflect back to her own energy. His own energy. Boom. Let's go. Or you could be like, things come effortlessly to me. I always get what I want. Things just flow. I have a desire. It arises. I play with the desire. It's exciting. And then I'm inspired to do something. And then boom, oh my God, my desire flow. You can flow whatever way you want it to be. Remember, you the one writing your script, baby. You the one painting your canvas, creating your masterpiece called your life. So that is understanding that underpinning of you don't have to effort if you don't want to. If you want to, do you. But if you don't want to, recognize there's a different way of being. And when you are in divine flow, inspiration arises and carries you to the next activity. There is a flow, and this inspiration you receive is the fastest path to your desired outcome. And this is something that we're not really taught in our society. We're taught that we have to effort, work hard. Nothing, this is a good one that you hear a lot. Nothing worth having isn't without a lot of work and effort, right? You've heard that saying. Anything that you want, you have to work hard at it. If you're not working hard, then you didn't work. If it came too easy, then it wasn't, then if it came too easy for you, right, then you didn't put in enough work and it might not actually be, might not be worth it, right? So that's that old paradigm, that old patriarchal, you know, full masculine, survival of the fittest, lack and scarcity mentality. Totally valid experience to have. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Majority of the planet is there. Do you, boo? Flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't, as I always say. But there's also a more embodied of the feminine and the masculine, both, where inspiration arises, you flow with the action that arises from that inspiration, and your desires actually come to you a lot quicker because, one, it feels good as you're going along the journey, and two, as you're going along the journey, you're moving from one thing to the next in this linear timeline. Not really parallel realities. You're shifting from one parallel reality that is leading you and bringing your manifestation, your desired outcome to you that much more quickly. So that is step number 4. Recognize you don't have to effort. There's no effort. You don't have to effort. Of course, action, there's action without effort. That's a whole nother video. But there's action without effort, and the action that arises from inspiration is the action that I'm talking about. It's not the efforting action where it feels like you have to work hard in order to get it, but it's action from joy, action from excitement, action from passion, action from intrigue, right? So when you're taking action from passion, action from joy, you recognize that it's not an effort-based action, it's actually action that is arising from inspiration. So that's the difference between efforting and inspired action. It's a different type of action, which is a completely different video. But you just get that understanding, you feel into that. You don't have to effort, and now that you've decided that you no longer want to effort and that you're going to live more intuitively, you're going to flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't. You're going to remember that there's nothing that you cannot do, be, or have, because the universe is simply reflecting back to you the vibes that you're pulsing out consistently. You can always trust that the universe is always going to reflect back to you what you are vibrationally pulsing out. So now that you've known that, and now that you have this understanding that overwhelm is a mindset, you've embraced it, and now you're complete with that experience, now what do? The next and final step is you prioritize, right? You prioritize what is most important to you in your life in this moment. Now for me, it's always my time, since it's the one thing that is, quote, finite in this current incarnation as far as I know right now in this moment. We haven't necessarily figured out, although I've heard some things, but we'll see where we can, like, you know, extend our lifetimes beyond like 150 years. But as far as I know, our time, no matter what it is finite. And so because time is the most valuable currency in my mind, I'm going to decide that whatever I spend my time doing, for me, and I'm always speaking flow if it feels good and let go of what doesn't, but for me, doing things that lights me up, living a life that's in true, authentic connection with my heart, living in alignment is most important to me. So I'm going to prioritize my life in that manner. I'm not going to do things that I think I ought to do because other people think I should be doing it. I'm not going to overcommit myself to things that that doesn't light me up. And if I made a commitment and it no longer lights me up, I will let that individual know that it no longer lights me up, and I'll catch you at the next one. Being in an alignment and being in integrity with who you are and setting your priorities for what lights you up, to me, is the most valuable thing that you can do in your life. A lot of times I was listening to this other spiritual teacher and he was just so on point, and I loved it because one of the things that was a remembrance for me as this person was talking was understanding that time, of course, is the most precious, valuable entity that we have on planet Earth as a soul having this human experience right now, because we wanted to incarnate in this specific human experience for a plethora of different experiences that we wanted to explore, right? So wouldn't it behoove you to spend your time doing the things that lights you up versus trying to cut corners, versus trying to save money in order to, a lot of times what we do, especially because we are living in a lack, scarcity based society, right? Majority of us, even though we're making that trek over into the abundance, free-flowing inspiration, intuitive way of living, right? But because that is just kind of the predominant energy on our planet right now, right? We don't understand that we're always either trying to save money, we're trying to cut corners, in the sense of we think that, well, if I save $5 on doing this versus paying someone else to do it, I can be spending my time doing this, which is actually more exciting. Now, what we have a tendency to do, which is catch yourself if you're doing this, and there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong. Every experience is valid. But if you want to live in a more abundant way of living, recognize that your time is worth millions, because it's the thing that literally runs out. Money can be replenished, right? Time cannot. You don't reverse time, although there's other things that might change that in the future. But as far as I know right now, time is finite. So because of that, it's like, what are you giving your time and energy to that you're never going to get back? If you could spend your time would be well worth, exploring ideas or discovering what your passions are, or doing what you love, or spending time with your loved ones, or doing what lights you up versus doing X, Y, and Z that no longer resonates with you. It would behoove you to do more of this and let go of that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what prioritization is about. It's about understanding that you are the divine creator of your reality, that there's nothing that you cannot do, be, or have, and in order to allow what you desire into your life, you have to let go of what no longer resonates and flow and expand into what does resonate. And as you do that, you'll recognize that there's no need to be overwhelmed. There's no need to be burned out, because all that I would desire is flowing to me effortlessly. I don't have to effort my way into getting what I desire. I simply follow my inspiration. I flow with what feels good. I flow with how it's feeling for me. And it's really important to understand that. And if you're in this other way of being, this lack scarcity way, and you find yourself trying to, you just take steps out of fear versus love, it's totally fine. Embrace the fact that you feel fear. Embrace the fact that, I feel scared that if I do this, that it's gonna mean this. It's totally fine. Embrace it. That's what we came. It's a part of the playground. So when you embrace that, then you recognize that, who am I? Who am I? What is this that I am? Who am I? Who are you? You are the person aware of the scarcity playground, and you're also the person aware of the abundance playground. Both are existing simultaneously. Remember, we are multidimensional, and there's nothing that we can't shift to effortlessly. We are constantly shifting from moment to moment to moment. Even as you're watching me on this video, you're shifting from moment to moment to moment, okay? So when you understand that you are the being that's watching this playground, then you can see that, I'm the puppeteer. I'm the director. I'm the painter. I'm the creator, right? And if you're the creator, get this, you guys, get this. If you are the creator, this is so heavy. I feel my spirit fam just experiencing the love. They just want you to get this. Remember who you are. If you are the one watching both things, it's okay. They're both fine. But you simply just shift and move into the energy of that which you desire. You just simply shift and move into the energy of what you desire. Shift and know who you are. And it's going to take a little cultivation. It's going to take a little bit more, habit changes. But it doesn't have to be effort. It doesn't have to effort. You just, fear's arising again. Okay, that's cool. And that's all the meaning you give it. You don't say, okay, fear's arising, I'm going to follow fear. This must mean if fear's arising, that means that I'm just not and I got to do some more work on myself, or oh my God, I got to, it doesn't have to mean that. It just means, that's energy in motion. That's cool. I'm not going to play with that energy right now. I'm not really feeling that. I'm feeling this. I'm going to play over here. And you could do that. That's how powerful you are. So I hope that you have enjoyed this episode as much as I have actually loved recording this. And if you have, definitely give this a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share with a friend. And I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments below, what is one way? Share with me one way that you take The one thing that you do to ditch overwhelm, to let go of overwhelm and burnout. What is one thing that you do to relieve the stress, to relieve overwhelm? Share in the comments below, and as always, the best comments are over at indigoray.com, and I would love to hear from you guys. And as always, remember to flow with what feels good and let go of what doesn't, because you are divine. And I will catch you guys in the next episode. Peace, love, and light. Want to start an online service-based business and finally gain confidence in knowing how to start your business with clarity so that you can create a business and life you love? Then sign up to get your 12-week business starter checklist. The link is in the description below.